Good morning, Mon Petite, and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Everyday May. It is official, the time is here, the daily vlogs have started and it is officially the 1st of May, at least for you guys, it's the 1st of May. For me, it is currently Monday morning, the 29th of April, so I'm starting this just a couple of days early because I just like to give myself a little bit of leeway just with regards to editing, and because I know it's going to be a very busy month, so I feel like a 2-day turnaround is a little bit more realistic than a 1-day turnaround. It's a beautiful, sunny Monday morning and I am in an excellent mood. As you can see, I'm up bright and early and I am rather barefaced this morning because I thought a great way to kick off the daily vlogs and a great way to start Everyday May would be to do almost like a bit of a reintroduction, because I feel like when you discover someone new on YouTube or like you're finding someone that you like want to enjoy following, it almost feels like jumping into the vlogs feels like you're jumping in mid-season to like a series that you have no idea about and that you haven't watched, and you don't know any of like the side characters or the background information or even like the location that it's set. Like, it just feels really jarring, and sometimes it's quite nice just to take a step back and almost do one of those you know, it was like previously on Friends, it's like previously on PetiteElliee. And I thought as we were getting ready this morning we could do a little bit of a reintroduction, because I know a lot of you guys find me and sometimes you're just a little bit out of context. I thought it'd be quite nice to reintroduce myself. So hi, I'm Ellie and I'm just gonna put my glasses on my head because honestly I'm the laziest girl in the world and it's just the easiest way to get my hair out of my face when I'm getting myself ready this morning. In fact, I've just prepped my skin. I have 2 of my favorite products. I absolutely adore these, the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Smoothing Serum and the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. It's like a moisturizer slash primer, and honestly these two together just give you the most beautiful base, like ready for makeup. I very much like quite a simple makeup. It's going to be just an at-home day today. It's just going to be quite a chilled one. So that's what we're going to be doing with our makeup. So I'm going to start with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Skin Tint. Honestly, this is not sponsored by Bobbi Brown, I promise you. I just adore their products. In fact, I've been wearing their products literally since I started wearing makeup when I was about 12 years old. They were the first brand that my mum introduced me to and I absolutely adore them. And I like to apply this with my fingers actually. I never used to be a finger person. I used to always be a brush person whenever it came to foundation, but I just feel like with this skin tint it just blends in so much nicer when you just use your fingers, and it just makes it feel a bit more like a second skin rather than actually wearing foundation. It's so much more tinted moisturizer-esque and it just sits so nicely. So yes, hi. My name is Ellie, lovely to meet you. I am 26 years old and I'm currently living in the New Forest with my fiance. I've taken off my engagement ring as I'm getting ready because I hate getting creams and foundations and everything over it, but I promise you, we are engaged. There's no divorce happening over here, but I live here with my fiance Alex. We've been engaged for about a year now and we moved into this house literally 2 months ago, which has flown by. I cannot believe it's already been 2 months that we've been living in the new house. We bought this house and moved in literally 2 months ago here in the New Forest because I am a Hampshire girl through and through. I was actually born and raised in Southampton, so that is our nearest city. Where we are in the New Forest, we're in a gorgeous little village, so our current nearest cities are Southampton and Winchester, probably our closest to, and they are 2 that I go to all the time. But yeah, we love living in the New Forest. We're very much country people. Alex is actually a northern boy who I dragged down south. We met at university 7.5 years ago, maybe even 8 years ago now, and I dragged him down south. We've been living in the New Forest for like the last 2 years. We were renting a house for 2 years that we absolutely adored, but it was time to buy, and we bought this beautiful 1930s country farm house style home, and honestly we just love it here. I feel like we're really settled, but at the same time there's still so much that I want to like do. There's so much that I want to change up. I feel like this bronzer is not blending in. Give me a second. That's a little bit better, a little bit less streaky and orange. I always feel like I have to be so careful with regards to my bronzer because I'm such a pale girl that it can so easily look like I've literally just streaked orange across my face. It's why I love this palette actually. This is the Ambient Light Hourglass palette and I absolutely adore it. I like to go in with this like darker shade. It's almost like that initial like stencil of where like my cheekbone is, where I want the kind of contour and bronzer to sit. And then I love to go in with this middle shade, which as you can see, I've literally hit pan. I love it that much because I also use it to blend out, and then I do a little bit of like a nose contour up my brow bone as well. I saw someone on TikTok do this and I absolutely loved how it looked. So yes, what else can I tell you? Moved to the New Forest, we're loving this house. We are in the process of planning our wedding, which, spoiler alert, we are going to be having a winter wedding, which I'm so excited about, but it's not going to be until 2026. So we are getting married in 2 years time. So it's going to be a 3-year-long engagement, because we knew we wanted to buy a house. We knew we wanted to take our time with regards to wedding planning, because I am an anxious girl. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm someone that gets very easily overwhelmed. I'm someone who is not the best, weirdly, I'm not the best at multitasking other than with this job, because obviously with this job there's like a lot of elements to it. I've got a lot of admin I need to do. Obviously there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's YouTube. So I think maybe because of this job, because I like spend all of my energy multitasking with this job, I'm never very good at multitasking in real life. That is an absolute lie, actually. I don't even know why I'm saying that, because even with regards to the house, I can't even focus on one project at a time. But anyway, I didn't want to overwhelm myself, and I wanted to have a long engagement. And also one thing that we really loved about the year 2026 is that just before we get married, it will be our 10-year anniversary, which I think is lovely. So you should see Alex pop up in a few of these vlogs. He's a little bit camera shy, but he does love to come on sometimes just to show you. He's an amazing cook. He loves showing you his cooking. Sometimes we'll have like little chats in the car. So yeah, honestly, it's so funny. Every time he comes on, you guys love him, and every time I say to him, I'm like, everybody loves you. And he's like, I always feel like I'm just so like moody. I always come across so moody. I'm like, you're not. You're just a little bit camera shy, and that's totally okay. So it's just Alex and I in this lovely, beautiful farmhouse that we are just loving putting our own stamp on, loving kind of like expanding and just making our own, and it's just so lovely. Countryside living is just my absolute favourite. I was always born to be a countryside girl, and so was Alex. He was a countryside boy through and through, and we just absolutely love going on like long walks through the country. We're currently in the process of doing up our little cottage garden as well here in the house, and it's so lovely. I feel like it's a funny one, because I was born and raised in Southampton. I almost feel like I know the New Forest so well, and like I know Hampshire really, really well. And then someone will introduce me to like an area I've never been to, a restaurant, or like a brunch place I've never heard of, and I just think, wow, there really is so much more to explore. So I'm really excited as well to like take you throughout Hampshire a little bit more, explore some more of my favorite places. Like, you know how much I love Limewood House. We definitely have to go to Limewood House this month, especially this May. I'm really, really hoping for warmer weather this May, because it has just been such a cold start to the year. We had frost at the end of April. On Thursday morning, I got in my car and I had an ice warning on my car. I was like, what is going on? So I'm really hoping we're going to have some nicer weather. We're going to be able to go outside more. But obviously, as I said, there is going to be a lot of house content, because I do feel like there's still a lot that I want to show you, a lot that I want to like update and just kind of reignite the like house content, if that makes sense. I do feel like when you move, you kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, that's good enough, we're settled, and then you start getting to a point where you're like, okay, now is the time to have a little bit more fun, start putting our own spin on things, and start just really making this house our home. It's also so nice being down here, because we are super close to my family. One thing you're probably going to learn very quickly with these vlogs, if you are new here and you don't already know me, I'm a family girl, I'm a country girl, and I'm a home girl. Like, I just love being at home. I love a bedtime at 9 p.m. We usually get up at about like 5:30 in the morning. So by like 8-9 o'clock, I am ready for bed. I am ready to get cozy. And I just love like quality family time. The fact that we live close to my family, I feel so lucky about. So as I said, like side characters coming into like a TV series, you're probably going to hear a lot about Lady C, who is my mum. We call her Lady C because she's literally, she's like the OG Nancy Myers, like lady of the manor. She is honestly just such an icon, and I just love hanging out with her. We do a lot together. I love seeing my sister and her fiance. We call them G and G, Grace and George. So we love hanging out with G, and then also my brother and his girlfriend. We're lucky enough to see them a lot as well, and it's just so lovely being close to family and having so much family time. I've also got a couple of trips booked in with Emily this month, which I'm really looking forward to, who you'll get to know Emily as well. She is just an absolute queen. In fact, I'll actually leave the vlog link down below where we went to Limewood House, because I introduced her properly there, and she is like kickstarting her own Instagram account where she's showing like some places around Hampshire, some like tips and tricks of where to go, and she's currently in the process of a bit of a house reno as well, which I'm hoping she's going to do some content around that, because I think that would be so fun as well to watch, because her interior design choices are just beautiful. So I'm a family girl through and through, a country girl and a home girl, and I feel like that just most you need to know. I realise I've not actually been really talking through what I've actually been doing, so let me know if you want like a full kind of makeup tutorial, although it's not really much of a tutorial. I'm definitely not the kind of person to give that kind of advice, but let me know if you want me to like chat through the products that I'm loving, the products that I'm using, the kind of like everyday makeup that I'm doing, because it's so stripped back and simple and so comfortable actually. Like the amount of times I kind of forget I'm wearing makeup and it gets to the end of the day and I'm like, oh, I need to get my makeup off. Like it doesn't really feel like I've had much on my skin, and that's what I love with regards to my makeup, my skincare, my outfits, like my hair. I just want to feel like comfortable and like in my own skin. That's the most important thing to me. Something else you should probably know about me, I love a lip product, absolutely love it, but I always again want it to be comfortable. I want it to feel like me. I don't want to look like I've like plastered lipstick on my face or like matte lips. That is not comfortable and not cute in my opinion. So these are like my 3 favorites at the moment, and I'm undecided what to wear today. First up, the Clarins lip oil. This is in the shade Apricot 05, and oh my gosh, this is such a lovely like juicy, balmy, really like nourishing lip oil, which I absolutely adore. And then 2 Bobbi Brown products, which as I said, not sponsored by Bobbi Brown, but I do think at least 3/4 of my makeup is currently Bobbi Brown, but I absolutely adore the Bobbi Brown lip tint. Is this the lip tint? Extra lip tint. This is the shade Bare Raspberry, and it's such a lovely one. It's really like a Your Lips but better. And then a new kind of discovery for me, and a new launch actually from Bobbi Brown, is their lip serums. I just knocked myself on the nose then. Their lip serums, but this is in the shade Bare Pink, and it's very much like a barely there, Your Lips but better. And this literally feels like if you love hyaluronic acid, just something really like nourishing and moisturizing on your lips, you're gonna absolutely adore this. It's just so beautiful. So I think I might wear that today. I'll give myself a quick little lip liner with the Clinique lip liner. I often get questions actually if I get my lips done, and let me tell you the difference from now to adding lip liner. I'm a different person. I mean literally a completely different person. I feel like my lips without anything on them just blend into my skin. So whenever I put lip liner on, it looks like I've had like a lip plump, it looks like I've had my lips done, but I haven't. It's literally just how I've actually defined my lips. And then as you can see, it's not really much of like a colour to this, which if you wanted a colour, they do them in like a few more colours, but I love this because it really does feel like you've just given your lips the most beautiful drink, the most lovely shot of hydration, and that is exactly what we are looking for. So that is my makeup done. No, it's not. Where's my spray? Setting spray. I feel like that is the trick, especially to minimal makeup. If you're not wearing a lot, you definitely don't want it to budge. So a quick little spritz of the 3-in-1 setting spray from Too Faced. Oh, and I'm not wearing mascara. In case you noticed, I didn't put any on, but I literally got my lashes topped up. I get an LVL every like 2 or 3 months. It's the epitome of the high maintenance appointments that give you a low maintenance lifestyle. That is literally me to a T. So I get like my nails done every couple of weeks, get my lashes done every few months, just to like make sure that I'm not having to wear mascara every day. Like it's so much more comfortable on my skin, and I just feel like it looks a little bit more natural and just, again, a lot more like me. I'm the epitome of wanting to feel like I'm in my own skin. It was a couple of years ago that I just basically decided that I was done with heavy makeup. I was done with like transforming myself through makeup. I just wanted to enhance like how I naturally looked, and my goal was basically to have almost like a smaller gap as possible between my makeup face and my non-makeup face, and I feel like I've achieved that, so I'm really happy. But yes, I'm gonna get my jewellery on, get myself dressed properly, and then we can crack on with the rest of the day. First day of Everyday May. I'm so excited. That little reintroduction kind of get ready with me, it wasn't boring for those of you who have been around for a while. In fact, I hope maybe there was like some new info that you didn't know in there. Even if you've been following me for like 6 years, you may not know all of these like things about me, or it might be something that you're like, oh, I didn't realise that. Like, I knew you were in the New Forest now, but I didn't know that you were like born in Southampton, and like you were a Hampshire girl literally through and through since birth. So I hope that was interesting, even if you've been here for a long time. And actually, I would love to know how you found me and how long you have been around for, because some people will literally comment and be like, I've been around since the university days. I remember when you and Alex first started dating, so many people said that when we got engaged, which I just find absolutely mad to think that you've been around for so long. And to think of like how long I've been online, because I've actually been on Instagram for 11 years, which is crazy. I'm 26 now, and I started Instagram when I was like 15, which just absolutely blows my mind. So I do feel like I'm a bit of a veteran. I mean, I haven't done YouTube for quite as long. I think YouTube's like 4 years potentially, TikTok's like 2 years, but I do feel like I have been around for a very long time, and you guys have seen such like evolution of me on the internet, which is just absolutely crazy, thinking about like university days to the old flat that we used to live in, to our first home we had together, and now the beautiful house that we own. that we bought, our beautiful country farmhouse. But yeah, let me know how you found me. Whether it was Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest. I know a lot of you find me from Pinterest. I would love to know how you found me, how long you've been around for, and like how long you've been following for. I just think it's so interesting to know. But I really do feel like today is just like the epitome of like an Ellie day, because I've just got a day at home today, a day pottering, which I feel like is such a British word. I love using that word, and I love a potter day. The amount of times that we came out, Alex would turn to me and be like, what's the plans today? And I'm like, today is a potter day. And he's like, yes, we love a potter day. We just potter about the house, maybe do some chores, some like reorganizing. You just like pottering about the house and just being. Basically, I love days like that today. So we've got that today, which I'm really looking forward to. And I've even put on a very Ellie outfit. I've got my little Holland Cooper cable knit on, which I love, especially if you've got like a sleeveless top. This is a River Island like tank top kind of vibe, and I really, really love it. But it's not quite sleeveless weather at the moment, which is absolutely crazy to say, considering that it's literally May now. Sometimes in May we're wearing strappy tops and shorts. We have heat waves of like 30 degrees. Not this year, unfortunately. We're still very much in our cable knits, but it's fine. I'm still loving it. You'll have seen it so much, and I hope you're not bored of it yet, because I've just been non-stop wearing it. But it's even a very Ellie outfit with the cable knit, the little pearl earrings. Got my favorite Pandora bracelet on. It feels like this is just such a like Ellie day. So I'm going to continue the very like Ellie theme and do something even more Ellie, which a lot of you who've been around for a while, you're probably screaming it at the telly. You're going to know. I'm going to go and make myself a cup of coffee. There is just one thing that I can safely say that I have probably influenced the most of you to go out and buy, that I do not stop talking about, that I use every single day. It is my coffee machine, my Nespresso coffee machine. If you're like me, you love a little vanilla skinny latte, literally vanilla syrup. These are the Jordan's skinny syrups. Absolutely adore Nespresso capsules and a proper Nespresso machine with like the milk frother. It literally feels like you are having a Starbucks coffee in your home every single morning. So I've just made myself my morning coffee, and I was just trying to think about like what else to kind of introduce. I do feel like this is almost a reintroduction. I feel like I need to like tell you about what's going to be happening this month, because we have a really busy month actually, but like in the best way possible. I feel like there's going to be a really good mix of like at home content, but also out and about content. I've got a trip into London this week, which will be really, really fun. I try not to go into London too much, but I'm usually there maybe like once a week or so, maybe a little bit less at the moment, especially now we're ramping up into like summer, into a lot more events. I'm just thinking about my upcoming diary. I think it's almost like I'm maybe in like 2 or 3 times throughout May, which should be really, really fun actually. And it's one of the things that I love about living in the New Forest, because whenever I tell people I live in the New Forest, especially when I go to like events in London, I'm seeing like brands or other influencers, they always ask me like, oh, how long did it take you to get in? It is literally an hour and 15 minutes, which is so quick. And some of the girls that live in London will turn to me and go, oh my gosh, it took me longer to get in this morning. I'm like, I know, it's such an easy train. We live so close to our local train station. I mean, it is the tiniest train station in the world, because it's literally just a little village train station, but takes you straight into Waterloo, which is super central, and it just means that I can easily get into London. Alex actually works from London a couple of days a week as well, so it really does go to show like how easy it is to get to and from. And if ever we're both in London at the same time, we'll always try and align our calendars so that we can get the train home together. We literally call it our little train dates, which is so lame. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but we call it our train dates. We'll grab some food at Waterloo, we'll sit on the train, we'll try and get like a little 2-seater together, we'll have our dinner, we'll chat, and it does feel like you're on a little date. Like, it's literally my favourite thing in the world. We did it when we were at the, when I was in London last week at the Shard on the Molten Brown event. Alex and I both managed to get the train home together, and it was so, so lovely. So yeah, I absolutely love living here in the New Forest. And I just want to show as well like how beautiful the New Forest is, because as a like countryside location, I feel like it's not as well known as maybe some others, like I don't know, the Peak District or the Lake District or the Cotswolds and things like that. And there's just so much to offer here in the New Forest. And also it's such a great place to live, being able to get into London. You've got 2 very major cities so close by. You've got Southampton, which literally has all the cruise terminals. You've got like, it's on the kind of like seafront, so it's a beautiful, like, not really a seaside town, but you've got the sea right there. and then obviously Winchester, which is one of my favorite places because it's so historic, it's so beautiful, it's so quaint. For a city, it doesn't feel like a city. And then of course loads of gorgeous villages nearby, which anyone that's been following for a while will know all of the places I'm talking about, like Romsey, Lyndhurst. I absolutely love where we live, and I do feel like we are in just like the perfect place with regards to what we need in our lives right now, if that makes sense, and also what we're going to need moving forward. Like if the family expands and anything like that, like this is just the perfect place to be. So I do absolutely love it here, and I'm also just so excited to show you more of the New Forest. We can definitely go out and explore a little bit more. I'll take you to a few of my favorite joints. We might be able to discover some new places as well, because as I said, there's still places I'm discovering. In fact, I've actually started following an account called Our Hampshire on Instagram, and they have such amazing recommendations. I definitely recommend following them if you're in Hampshire or nearby. Even if you're in like Sussex, Surrey, kind of Dorset area, it's such a like accessible place to come to, even just like for the day or for the weekend. There's loads of gorgeous like overnight stays and things like that. So I do absolutely adore it here, and I'm so excited to show you around a little bit more. So as I said, there's going to be a lot of mixture of like at-home content, there's going to be a mixture of going out content. The gardening content is hopefully going to start back up again, which I'm really excited about, because we've been working so hard to get the garden to the place where it is now. So I can't wait to show you that at a later date, because we've got a lot to update you on, and I'm pretty much starting from scratch with regards to this garden. So I think it's going to be really fun to plant things up together, do some gardening together, and I can show you the kind of transformation that we have made. But you know what I might actually do, which I think again might be a nice introduction, especially to the new house if you are new around here. And obviously I've shown you little clips here and there throughout vlogs, but I've not really done like a full house tour. So what I might actually do is give you a little bit of a full tour of like the places that are, I'm going to say finished in quotation marks, because there's still a lot I want to do, and there's still loads of like little tweaks that I want to change, and like things that I want to add. We want to panel walls, we want to get artwork, but like these things will come in time. So let's do a bit of a house tour so that I can give you a bit more of an introduction, and like maybe just a, what's the word, like a revisit of some of the rooms in our new beautiful farmhouse style home. So we're currently stood in our rather sunny kitchen this morning, which I think is safe to say, for me personally, this is the space that sold us the house. Which whenever I say that, Alex is always like, no, it definitely wasn't just the kitchen. Like there's so much more to the house that I feel like sold us on it, and it wasn't just this space. But I feel like every homeowner will get what I mean when I say that there's just like one aspect to your home that you don't want to give up. You're like, I can't walk away from that. Like that needs to be mine. I can picture myself there. Like that is a space that I just absolutely adore. And I feel like also that is a space that I can't replicate in another home. That's what this space was for us. And the second that I walked into this kitchen, I was like, this is our future home. Particularly the thing that we fell in love with is the beautiful vintage range cooker, which we tried to work out how old this is. We think it's at least 30-40 years old. But we haven't got an exact date on it. But this is the Rangemaster 3000, and I'm not gonna lie, it's taken quite a lot of time to get used to it. It did take a little bit of fiddling with as well, just to like make sure that it was completely up and running. We've had it like serviced and fixed and everything like that. But I've never actually worked with a gas oven before. We've only ever had electric or fan ovens in the past, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it took me so long to realize what gas mark is. In fact, I didn't even realize it. It was actually my sister G that pointed it out to me, because for ages I was trying to Google, you know, when you just have these numbers on the side. This is so embarrassing to admit, but you know what, we're gonna be honest here, and I'm just hoping you're not gonna judge me, but there's numbers on the side, and I was literally trying to Google like conversion rate from an 8 to a like to 180 degrees, or like how much is it compared to like an electric oven. And it literally was my sister G that turned around to me and went, so you just mean you have a gas oven? And I was like, I don't know, it's like a Rangemaster, like I've never used it before, like it just looks so vintage, it's so old, I'm not sure. And she came around and she was literally like, Ellie, it's just a gas oven, you just need to work out the gas mark. Like it literally says it on the packet. Instead of reading electric 180 degrees or fan oven 190 degrees, you just read the one that says gas mark and put it on the number it says. So I'm pretty sure like 180 degrees is the equivalent of gas mark 6. So most things have just been going in at gas mark 6, and yeah. Now we can use it absolutely no problem. So it's the funniest thing that I had no idea that that's how this oven worked, because I've never used something like this before, but we've got it up and running, and it is so lovely to use. So we've got a little grill there, we've got 2 ovens, and then a warming tray, which I've actually utilised the warming tray so much, because when you have guests over and you're trying to serve up things go so cold so quickly, so it's really lovely to have like nice warm dishes warming underneath, or like if I'm bringing something out a little bit early and I still want to keep it nice and warm, it goes underneath there. So yeah, so we just keep our always pan actually on top of this, just because we use it so much that there's almost no point in putting it away now. But this is in the shade, oh, I always forget, it's like stone or something, but we absolutely love this. If you've been thinking about getting an always pan, I cannot recommend it any more highly. We use it for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and the only annoying thing about it is it can't go in the dishwasher, but actually it's so non-stick, it's so easy to clean. It takes 5 minutes to give it a little rinse down, a little bit of fairy liquid, and you are good to go. So I absolutely adore that, and I do feel like it's almost like a bit of a feature on this kind of light point, so I do love how it looks, and especially when the sun comes shining through like this, it is my absolute favorite. But we love the tiles, like the country farmhouse vibe, and yeah, this range was just such a selling point for the house for me, and it was just something that I knew I could not walk away from. So the kitchen's actually a really funny layout and quite a funny like shape, and I feel like it's really hard to show you on YouTube unless I was literally to give you like a floor plan of our kitchen. But obviously you've got this space behind me, and it looks very much like it's just like a normal kind of rectangular box shape in our kitchen, but it's actually more of an L shape. So you've got this space over here, which is mainly just like storage and cupboards. We've also got the fridge over this point, and it kind of like comes out, and then you've got like this main section through here, and then also a section which I absolutely adore, and a space that I feel like it's taken us quite a long time actually to get to this point. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really cringe, but I like to call this my little slice of Limewood House. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Alex literally said to me that if I keep calling it that, he may have to call off the engagement, because he was like, that is the cringiest thing I have ever had. But it really does feel like the seating areas in Limewood, and I absolutely adore it. I do apologize, I'm not actually cleaned up or tidied or anything for this little house tour, so you can see my laptop charger down there, but it just goes to show how much I utilize this space and how many different kind of like reasons that I like to sit down here. One thing you know about me that all of the OGs all know for definite that you should learn very quickly, I love a nook. I love a nook. In all of my homes, I've always had like a little space, a little nook, just to like sit and be, just to like do work, to look out into the garden, just to read. Like I do absolutely adore a nook, and I feel like this is just the perfect little kitchen nook, which actually we love sitting here. We'll have breakfast here, like we'll sometimes sit and have lunch here, and it's quite nice to like sit and chat, and it really is just such a lovely, lovely space. So it's taken a while to like get to this point, and I was so unsure with what to do, because it's quite a small space. Like it wasn't quite big enough for a dining table. We've got a separate dining area over there, and I was just so unsure with what to do. A few people suggested like a breakfast bar, but especially because of the age of this house, because it is 1930s, because of like the more period features in it, it just didn't feel right putting something so modern like a breakfast bar in there. But I knew I wanted something a bit cozy, a bit comfier, and this is exactly what it is. So I literally sit here and I'll do my work. I'll sit here and I'll look out. If I sit on this chair, I can look out into the garden. If I sit on this chair, I can look out to the rest of the house, and it really is just such a lovely, lovely space to be. So it's definitely not finished. Like obviously we've got some clashing colors over here. I really want a lot more pops of red here in the kitchen, but it feels like it's not the season for that. Whenever I'm looking at homeware at the moment, everything seems to be like blues and greens, so I'm thinking maybe in autumn winter is the right time to look for like red interior styling. But I love the like little Fordham and Mason, the little olive tree, and it's just such a lovely space to be. So yeah, this was actually a vintage find, which I love. It's bashed about, it is stained, like it is marked, but I adore it for that. I think it's so, so lovely. And then these two chairs are both from Dunelm Home, so they're super affordable, and just like a really nice size. So this really has just become such a lovely space just to sit and be. It means that we utilize the kitchen a bit more. We can like spend a bit more time in here. And considering that this is the room that sold me the house, I want to spend as much time in here as possible. So yeah, we've got the kitchen, which is quite nice to have a little bit separated from the dining area. Now this is definitely going to be changing eventually, but for now, I'm happy with it. It's fine. Like it's not unoffensive or anything like that. This is our old table that we've literally had since we first lived together back in maybe 2018 I think was the first place that we ever got together. We've had this a long time. It's just a little IKEA find, and we do love it, but it just doesn't quite fit right. What we'd love to do is get like a really elongated table. What we want is like a 6-seater table that can extend out to 8-seater, because when we have family round, you know I love my hosting. My favorite thing to do in the world is to do a beautiful tablescape, and having like a really elongated, more kind of bench type table I think would just work so much better in this space. So it's a cute table, and also it was a table that we really tried to make work in there, but when I say that's a small space, I really do mean it, because this would not fit through these doors, like through this kind of space, this like archway that we've got going into the kitchen. So unfortunately that didn't work in there. the table's not going to be staying, but for now it's fine. I don't want to rush into any purchases, and I don't want to buy anything unless it's like absolutely perfect. There's been a few that I found online that I've like showed Alex, and every time we're like, oh, it's lovely, but oh, I like that, but, and I want to find a piece that has no but. Like I want to find a piece that is just the perfect item to fill this space. So I'm not in any rush, but yeah, this is kind of like dining nook that we've got at the moment. As I said, love a nook until it becomes a full table. I'm not calling it like a dining area because it just feels so like small and cozy, and it's very cute, and I will miss this table, and I loved this setup. If it worked in the kitchen, I would have kept it in there, but unfortunately it just doesn't quite work. That's the interesting thing actually about moving home, is just how much like changes with regards to like your style, with regards to like your furniture. There were so many pieces that we took from the old house into this house that immediately I was like, no, that doesn't work. I had a beautiful set of crystal, like metal shelves that I loved in the old house. I styled them up in the kitchen. I absolutely adore them. The second I put them in this kitchen, I was like, no, does not work. They're too modern. They just don't work in that like country farmhouse style, and it's something I really want to like embrace with regards to this house. It's like the heritage of it, the kind of features of it, and I really want to like embrace that farmhouse living. So yeah, it's been really interesting seeing how much like my tastes have changed, even like color schemes that have changed immediately. The living room used to be very much more of like a red color scheme, and now I'm like, no, red's more the kitchen, the living room's more green. It's just so interesting seeing how much it changes like with your personality, but also with the personality of the house itself. And then moving on to what I think is safe to say is now one of my favorite rooms in the house, but it's a room that I struggle with the most when we first moved in. It's taken such a long time to get it to a point where I'm happy with, to get it to a point where I feel like it's somewhat finished. As I said, definitely not completely finished. We'd love to add some artwork, we'd love to maybe panel the walls, but our living room, which is such a cozy space to be in, and I'm so happy with how it has actually turned out. Now, the thing that I struggle with most with this room, and I'm sure anyone will agree with me if you have a north facing room. In our old house, the only north facing room we had was like a snug, so it was really dark and we really embraced that. Whereas this room, it's not that dark, but like the lighting is so weird. One thing that we are doing actually immediately, replacing these brown shutters. They are the ugliest thing I think I've ever laid my eyes on. I can't really show you them up close, but I absolutely hate them, and I feel like they really pull the darkness into this room and pull the room down. So we do have some beautiful white fitted shutters that are hopefully en route, so fingers crossed they will arrive throughout May and I'll be able to show you things. But something again I've learned with regards to the home buying process and like interior styling is that nothing comes when you want it to, and lead times take so long. So fingers crossed they will arrive throughout May, and hopefully that will really brighten the space a little bit more. But my best piece of advice with regards to having a north facing room, lamps. This one's actually really handy. It's from John Lewis, and it has different like tones to it. So if I show you, if I turn this on, you've got like a white tone, and then you've got a kind of cooler, not cooler, like a warmer tone, and then you've got like a really warm tone. So it's super handy to have, and you can turn it up or down, which is amazing. So it means that if, you know, on the days where it's super dark, it's raining, but you want it to feel like daylight, I'll put on the cool tone and I'll put it on the brightest setting, especially because it's kind of behind the door. It does feel really bright and like fills the room with a lot more light. So I do love that. But this very much is an evening space, and I always kind of knew that it would be, and it's something that I kind of like embrace with regards to this room, because we don't really spend any time during the day in here. It's very much more like evenings, movie nights, you know, like chilling on the sofa after work. So I really wanted to lean into that kind of like darkness in such a way, so like with regards to the patterns, with regards to the textures, the tones, and particularly with regards to this fireplace, the dark browns I really wanted to embrace in this room because I love the tiling of the original fireplace. Unfortunately, the original wood burner was pulled out by the previous owners, but we are looking to install a log burner, install like a surround and like choose a mantle and things like that, but that will come with time. But one of my favorite things in this room that I feel like has really added a bit of warmth is the gorgeous fitted shelves, these beautiful bespoke floating shelves, which I absolutely love, which as you can see I still haven't styled them up anymore from when you last saw them, but I just really don't want to rush it, and I don't want to buy pieces for the sake of it. I want to buy something really intentionally. I want to make sure that it's really filling the space and that it's perfect. So I'm actually choosing to keep them empty for now until I basically find the perfect piece that can fill them. But yeah, a gorgeous, cozy little living room. I do absolutely adore this space. This is our favorite place just to curl up, have cuddles, watch a film, and just get cozy. So I'm really happy with how the space is turning out. I'm loving the green as well. I feel like the green works so well in the country farmhouse home, especially the greens with the browns. I think really pulls the whole look in together. So I'm super happy with how this room is looking. As I said, still some changes to make, but for now, it's such a lovely, cozy space. Even now, after giving you like almost what feels like a full downstairs tour. There's still so many places that you've not actually seen within the house, like the utility room you've not actually seen, which is very much a blank canvas, which you may see throughout every day. Also, like little downstairs toilet we've got down here, which is pretty much just like a complete blank canvas. It is just an empty space, which actually I think is a space that I could do quite a lot with. And I think that's another thing that really excited us when we bought this house, is just how much potential it has. Like, it's beautiful as it is, and that's why whenever people talk about like finished rooms, like whenever I talk about like a finished space, I know everyone always says it's never finished. Like, there's always something that you want to do, and I feel like every time that I think, oh yeah, no, I'm happy with how that looks, it starts cropping up like, oh, but I could change that, and oh, but it might be quite nice if I do this. But that's a space I think I could have a lot of fun with. I'm wanting to do something really bold and out there, because I think sometimes when you've got a really small space, you can actually have a lot of fun with it. I'm thinking wallpaper, paneling, new tiles, but again, it's something I'm in no rush to do. Like, it's all cosmetic, which is why I'm in no rush. It's gonna be absolutely fine. Like, it's just a downstairs toilet at the end of the day. Like, who really cares what your downstairs toilet looks like? But I think it's just quite nice to have a bit of fun with your space. But let's head upstairs, because there's a couple of rooms to show you upstairs as well. So the room that I would argue is probably the first like finished room in the house, which when I say finished, definitely isn't, and still has like changes that we want to make and upgrades that we want to do. But it's the room that everyone said to us when we moved, focus on that room, get that room finished somewhat, get it all unpacked, get everything out, and just make that feel like home, because in moving madness you need that sanctuary, and that is our bedroom. I've just noticed actually you're getting a little sneak peek of a room that you have not seen yet, that is currently my room of doom. So I'm not going to show you that right now, but instead show you our beautiful bedroom, which just gets the most gorgeous sunlight on a day like today. It's my absolute favorite. As I said, I've not tidied up, so you can literally see my socks on the floor. You can see Alex's pajamas on his chair of doom, shall we call it? But we love this room so much. It is calm, it is tranquil, and as I said, it is a little bit unfinished, because what we would love to do is some fitted shelves here. This door's open because this is our ensuite, and I try and leave the door open as much as possible because there's no windows in there, so I never want that room to get like, you know, when it gets a bit stale. So I like to try and aerate it as much as possible. But I love our bedroom. We just wanted to make this a really calm and tranquil space, and this is already a room that again has changed a lot, and I brought a lot of things from the old house that immediately just didn't quite work in here. We had a very grey bedroom in our old house. In fact, we actually had like grey walls in the old bedroom, but with our beautiful like kind of natural Hessian colour that we have going on, it very much suits more like beigey tone. And even actually, despite the fact that the headboard used to be grey when we first bought it, I think because it's been sun bleached so much, it's turned into more of a beigey colour now, which is kind of hilarious. And I feel like the whitewash, the beautiful like lime washed furniture, it just lends itself to being a bit more beigey. So I do think I need to replace this lampshade, which we actually bought because there wasn't anything there when we initially moved in. Or there was a broken lampshade there, broken chandelier when we initially moved in. So we bought that really quickly from Dunelm because we thought we have a grey theme, let's just grab that. And already I'm thinking we need to replace that. But all in due course, all in due time. So the theme in this room is botanicals, not florals, because Alex isn't the biggest fan of florals. He finds them a little bit granny-ish, and I completely respect that, because when it comes to all of the rooms in our house, we both have a say. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's just going to run off and do something. There are times occasionally where he is really hesitant about something and I have to just say to him, just trust me. Then there's other times where I'm like, completely respect your opinion, completely respect how you feel, we're not going to do that. So instead of doing florals in here, everything is very botanical. So we've got this beautiful quilted throw from Next, which I absolutely love, with like leaf design, and then we've got the most gorgeous pillows. These are from Ultimate Home, and she is a really small brand. She does the most beautiful cushions and linens and pillows, and she does actually have a discount code for you guys to use, which is for you exclusively, which I absolutely adore. I believe it's Ellie 15, but I'll double check and I'll leave that linked down below. And then of course we've got my little print that I put up from HomeSense, which again, botanical, not floral. But yeah, the way that the sun just hits the room, I absolutely love it. We have just such a lovely view. Like, all the trees surrounding us is just so lovely to get that like leafy scenery in your bedroom, and it really is just a room that I absolutely adore being. It's calm, it's tranquil, it's very stripped back, but that's exactly what I want from a bedroom, because let's be honest, 99% of the time you're in here, you're asleep, so you want it to be as like calming, as tranquil, and as kind of like restful as possible, and I feel like we've achieved that with this room. Well, seeing as though you already got a little bit of a sneak peek, this is the room opposite our bedroom, and this is all I'm going to show you for now, because this is a room that I have big plans for, and I think we can do that together this May. So I want you guys to hold me accountable and remind me that we need to sort this room, because up until this point, like, this looks lovely, this looks very neat and tidy. As soon as I turn the corner, it is a room of doom. Like, it is such a mess in there. So I really want to like organize and sort this room out, because spoiler alert, this is going to be my office, and I kind of want to call it like my Nancy Meyers room, because it's got the most beautiful fitted sage green wardrobes, which is where Alex's clothes are currently being hung. That's why we're not really in a rush to do the fitted wardrobes in our bedroom, because he's got this whole wardrobe space for the time being. So we're not like in any rush to get the fitted ones put in. It's more aesthetic, and we just want to fill the space, but we'll do that when we can. And for now, he's just utilizing these. But this is just a really, really gorgeous little room, and I think it would just be the perfect space for me to sit down, to work, to like get my desk in. I can do my editing, I can do my admin, and it's just such a lovely little space. It's very calming. Again, you've got the sage green, it's like white floors, and I feel like maybe some little pops of blue in there would look absolutely beautiful. A real Nancy Meyers theme. But that's all I'm going to show you for now. As I said, remind me as the month goes on. If I haven't sorted out this room, I've promised you we're going to do this together. It's something I need to hold myself accountable for, and I need you guys to hold me accountable for too. And then the room that you will all recognize, which I was literally sitting in this morning, my beautiful dressing room, which I absolutely adore. I feel so, so lucky to have this space. But it's kind of why I'm thinking of doing a separate office, because this is very much like a dressing room, a filming space. I almost want to call it like a style studio, but I feel like that sounds very pretentious. But all of this is very much finished for now. Like, it's very temporary, but I'm totally happy with it. And when I say temporary, like, even if it was here for a year, I would not mind at all. I'm in no rush for this room, because I really want to get it perfect. I want to do some like beautiful fitted wraparound wardrobes, which I think would be amazing, but I just wanted to really live in the space first and just like see how the light hits, see how it works, where I'm like filming, and like the spaces that I'm doing. And then of course we've got the beautiful fitted shutters here, which these are bespoke fitted shutters, came with the house, and I'm so, so grateful for them, because number one, they give me great privacy, because obviously I'm filming in here, I'm changing a lot, I'm trying on clothes, I'm doing hauls, I need to protect my privacy, but also I feel like they just lighten the space. Like, this is also a north facing room, and yet it feels so much lighter and brighter than the living room downstairs. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to change up the space downstairs. But I do absolutely adore these shutters, and I adore this room. Like, it's such a lovely light, bright room, and I love the mixtures of like the wood with the white, my new gorgeous little radiator cover that Alex put up for me when I was actually on my sick bed a couple of weeks ago. But I love the kind of like tones and textures and how well they play together. So yeah, my little outfit of the day mirror, another little wardrobe over here, a room that I absolutely adore, and obviously you see every single day, and you'll probably see a lot more of throughout every day May. So a little bit of an unexpected home tour of our new house. I didn't think I was going to give this to you today, but I kind of just wanted to give you a bit more like context with regards to the spaces, because obviously you'll have seen all of the spaces individually and like on their own and throughout different vlogs, but you've not really seen them like almost strung together, and I just feel like it gives you a little bit more context with regards to the new house. So hope you enjoy getting a bit more of a home tour. As I said, there's more spaces to explore, there's more spaces to do up, and I'm so, so excited to take you on that journey throughout the following month. But for today, as I said, it's a nice cozy day at home. I feel like this has just been the best start to every day, mate. I mean, I'm literally, as you can see, wearing my cozies. I've got my little Sweaty Betty yoga pants on, my River Island top, my Holland Cooper cardi. Like, this is just how I love to be: cute, cozy and comfortable, and I just feel like I couldn't have asked for a better start to everyday May. So I popped out this afternoon to do a little bit of a food shop, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I audibly gasped when I saw these in Marks and Spencer. I feel like you can just see them poking out there, but oh my goodness me, I can't even get all of this into frame. It is so huge. A huge pot of hydrangeas. Now, I actually remember it was about this time last year that I found a gorgeous pot of hydrangeas in Marks and Spencer, and when I tell you they lasted all summer long, I am not joking. And I am not an expert when it comes to gardening. As much as I'm excited to kickstart the gardening content, I do not pretend that I'm anything but a novice. I really try to learn. I love watching like gardening content, obviously Gardener's World and things like that, and I do feel like my gardening skills are really coming along, but I don't do anything special. Like, I literally potted these out with some compost and some soil. I didn't even give them any hydrangea feed last year, and they lasted all summer long. And do you want to know how much this, I honestly can't even get this into frame, this giant pot of hydrangeas was? £15. If you were to buy this from like a boutique kind of florist in London, it would literally probably cost you about 85. Like, they sell hydrangeas for such a markup. It blows my mind. So I am going to pop these up and get these out into the garden because I love hydrangeas. They are just my favourite, and I do have hydrangeas that we are so excited to bloom this year. These have actually come out a little bit early, so I'm hoping they still last. I have bought hydrangea feed now. So hopefully I know what I'm doing a little bit more, and hopefully I have a pot big enough actually, because these are genuinely massive, and I always think it's good for the plants to like pot them in a pot that's obviously a bit bigger than like the pot that they actually come in, just to give them a little bit more room to like grow and to breathe and to soak up all the nutrients. But £15 whilst I was doing my weekly M&S shop. I mean, who would have thought? But that's made me a very, very happy bunny. Not too much to note from that food shop. I'm not going to lie to you. It was mainly just, you know, bread, milk, dinners for the week and all of that jazz. However, I'm not going to lie, I did pick up some supplies to add to my baking cupboard because I was running low, and there's nothing worse than wanting to bake and not having the supplies in. And I won't lie, this May we're going to be doing a lot more baking together. I'm so excited to do more baking in this kitchen and in this house. I feel like we've not utilized it to its full potential yet, and I really want to do some like lovely light spring recipes. I think would just be the loveliest thing in the world. So I picked up some more sugar, some more baking powder and flour, because I feel like those are just the core essentials that you need. I've got eggs in the fridge as well. So let me know if there's any recipes that you think I would like. I'm really liking some like lightweight, maybe like lemony, cupcakey, cheesecakey type recipes, things that aren't too difficult, because I am quite a baking novice. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of an amateur baker, but I do love to do a little bake. So I'm thinking that will be lovely to do throughout May, because as I said, I feel like we've really not utilized this kitchen enough. And then I also picked up a new basil, because as you know, my basil completely died on us, and this was also reduced, which is lovely. So hopefully that doesn't mean it's gonna die on us again quickly. Hopefully it will take to the pot this time, because I do love having fresh basil, and whenever I want to do like pasta recipes or salads or anything like that, it's just so lovely to have in. I'd always recommend having fresh herbs in your kitchen. So we can pot that up later when I do my hydrangea, when I pot up my hydrangea, and we can get that hopefully secured in its new pot, and hopefully it doesn't die on me again. I'm not gonna lie, today has literally just been the loveliest Monday, the nicest start to the week, the loveliest start to every day in May, just like a really chilled one, easing into the daily vlogs. I've spent the rest of the afternoon obviously food shopping, and then basically cracking on with work. So obviously I still need to do like normal work on top of daily vlogging. So I've just had my laptop out, and I've just been doing a bit of admin, sending over some things for approval and a bit of emails, which has been really lovely, just sitting in my little nook in the kitchen looking out into the garden. I was planning on potting up those hydrangeas that I found, which by the way, it's not these. These are the faux ones that I keep on the table, because despite the fact that the table is stained, I don't know if I want to put real flowers on here just in case it stains it further, which sounds utterly ridiculous as I'm saying out loud, but these are just faux. Can you tell? I love a white hydrangea. They're just my absolute favourites. But I was planning on potting up my hydrangeas this afternoon, and then the sun went in. And despite the fact that I love gardening, I am not even going to pretend that I'm anything other than a fair weather gardener. As soon as the sun comes out, it just draws me outside. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. The amount of times after dinner at like 7 o'clock, I'll just turn to Alex and be like, oh, I might just go and potter out in the garden a bit if it's beautiful sunshine. But as soon as it clouds over and you get that like kind of grey sky, just doesn't really draw me. So I think I might pot up the hydrangeas tomorrow, if fingers crossed we have nice weather, hopefully. If not, I think I'm just gonna have to grin and bear it and head outside in the grey miserable weather and pot them up, because they are definitely gonna need a good old drink of water, because what a find. What a find. Honestly, this is your little public service announcement to head to your local Marks and Spencer's and see if you can find the beautiful potted hydrangeas, because £15 for a huge pot of hydrangeas is absolutely insane. And also, if they last as well as the ones did last year, I'm going to be such a happy bunny. So I'm really excited to get those outside and just get a bit of an injection of colour, because at the moment the garden's looking a little bit, as I said, it's blank canvas. We've got a lot to do with it, but it's exciting just to like start adding some little bits in it here and there and getting it ready for summer basically. So I now need to decide what to do for dinner. There is nothing better though than when you've just done a food shop and you've got a full fridge and you've just got so much choice for dinner. I don't know if you ever do this with your partner, but Alex and I'll be texting back and forth, and then I'll be like, well, on the menu tonight, monsieur, you have a choice of, and we'll like text back and forth like, oh yeah, I fancy that tonight, like maybe we'll save that for tomorrow. So I need to decide what we're gonna do for dinner tonight and then start cooking, because he's gonna be home fairly soon. But I really hope you guys have enjoyed the first day of Everyday May. I feel like this has been quite a long one, and I promise you I will try to make sure that they're not all this long, because I know you don't have an hour of your time every single night to sit and watch a video. But as I said, I wanted to give a bit of context, wanted to give a bit of an introduction, like a reintroduction, a revisit of me, of the house, of what's going to be happening this month, and I honestly cannot wait to spend every single day with you this May. I think it's just gonna be so much fun. Honestly, I've never done this before, and I mean, do you know what? Check back in with me in like 3 weeks time when we're probably on like day 21, and I am showing up with hair up in a bun, no makeup, like, hi guys, I have nothing left to say. We should like cut to a clip of that now. But no, at the moment I'm feeling really excited about it. I think it's gonna be so lovely to spend the month together, to do all of the like home updates that I want to be doing, explore the New Forest, and fingers crossed have the weather we have been waiting for this May. So I'm gonna leave this one here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button already, I would love it if you hit it now. And if you got to the end of this video, leave the word hydrangea down below in your comment. If you're new, it's something I really love doing, because I love knowing who gets to the end of my videos, because I'm well aware I ramble. I'm well aware that I ramble. I'm well aware that there's a lot of chat going on, and I love seeing who gets to the end, and I feel like it confuses people. And they just see everyone commenting, it's like one word, and they're like, hang on, what's going on? So comment the word hydrangea down below in your comment if you did get to the end of this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Every single day at 5 p.m. Hope you're there, and I hope you're ready. Bye.